So the super welterweight or light middleweight, however you guys want to call it, unification rematch is supposedly set for February. But before we get into detail, like and subscribe, share the video. It would greatly help the channel grow. And now I'm not really sure what the exact date is that it's set for, because right now while I am recording this video, it's November 23. 2:55 a.m. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but I got this video ready so I can break the news as soon as it happens. And their first fight was an all-election fight of the year contender without a doubt. A lot of people are screaming fight of the year about this, fight of the year about that. I think that fight was much more entertaining than the fight that happened between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, the trilogy. I know there was heavy knockdowns exchanged. I know it was an all-action fight, but there was more pure skill involved in this fight. Watching the fight live, I believe I had Castano winning 8-4, 9-3. But Jermell Charlo did hurt him badly, I believe, in round 3 and in round 10. And Castano hurt Charlo badly in round 4. It was a fight of two guys who are clearly at the top of their game, clearly two elite fighters. That's why Brian Castano, he fought Patrick Teixeira. He took care of him with ease. When he fought Lara, I thought he dominated Lara. He also got a draw on that one. And Jermell Charlo, he's knocked out guys who have looked tremendous lately. He's knocked out guys like Erickson Lubin in the round. He's been just a truck running through fighters. He destroyed Tony Harrison. So he's a really explosive fighter. But against Brian Castano, even though he hurt him, he couldn't take him out, because they're both at that elite level. I can't lie, the rematch is going to favor Jermell Charlo, because I think Jermell Charlo can make more adjustments than Brian Castano, even though I thought Brian Castano won the first fight and should be a slight favorite going to the second fight. And they're not going to try to rob him twice. We can guarantee this. They're not going to rob the guy twice. I think Castano has a lot of weird angles. He comes in with weird attacks. He comes in from different angles, doesn't let you read his rhythm. He's more than just people say he's a brawler. No, he's more than a brawler. He's a very, very skilled fighter. And these guys, these skilled offensive fighters, they don't come always, once in a lifetime. Pure skilled offensive guys like that who go, put both hands up and go at you. They're very, very, very rare. And Brian Castano is one of those rare guys. Brian Castano, I do believe he's from Argentina. I think he's one of the best Argentinian fighters we've seen in the 21st century. Obviously, Carlos Monzon is the best Argentinian fighter of all time. But I think he's number 2 for this century, right behind Sergio Martinez. He's better than Marcos Maidana, in my opinion. I think he's a really fantastic fighter. Very skilled. I know his resume still isn't there. But if he had that victory against Jermell Charlo and Lara, which he did beat them, in my opinion, that's why judges, when they Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the WBC convention, gained a lot of respect from me. Because he went in front of Mauricio Suleiman, in front of a bunch of judges, and told them, for you guys, it's only one night. You guys go back to your homes, live with your families like nothing happened. These robberies or these shady decisions ruin fighters' lives. Like, imagine Brian Castano right now. He has on his resume, it says, victory over Erislandy Lara, victory over Jermell Charlo. Everyone would call him pound for pound. Josh Taylor, he's top 5 pound for pound, top 10 pound for pound with everyone. Well, he did have good victories over Regis Prograis and Jose Ramirez. But I watched that fight twice. I watched it live. I thought Prograis won 8-4. I rewatched it. I thought Prograis won at 7-5. So I watched it twice, and I thought Prograis did more than enough to beat Taylor. And still people call him top 5 pound for pound. If you switch those two draws for Brian Castano and put them in as victories over Erislandy Lara and victories over Jermell Charlo, everyone would be saying he's top 5 pound for pound as well. They'd put him over Josh Taylor. And it's very sad to see this happen. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. correctly and courageously called them out on it in the WBC convention. And one more thing. I just hope the winner does not vacate the WBO title. Because this is obviously number 1 versus number 2. Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano. However you want to rate them. However you want to put who at number 1 and who at number 2. They're clearly number 1 versus number 2. But number 3 is an Australian fighter named Tim Tszyu. I watched his last fight against Inoue. To say I was impressed would be an understatement. It would be a complete understatement. Tim Tszyu has the goods. I've never seen Castano fight live. I've seen highlights for him. I'm only 22 years old. I'm not going to cap about it and say I've seen Castano fight live. I haven't. I've seen highlights of how he dealt with Zab Judah. I've seen a lot of highlights for him. So a couple of the people that commented on my video about Tim Tszyu said he fights a lot like his dad. Me watching him, he reminded me a lot of Gennady Golovkin. Prime Gennady Golovkin. Except that he does one thing better than Golovkin. He has better, he chooses his punches better. He has better punch variety. That's the correct word to say it. Punch variety. He has way better punch variety than Gennady Golovkin, in my opinion. Obviously, doesn't have the power of Gennady Golovkin. And obviously, we don't know what type of chin he has, because he's fought good fighters before. He's beaten Michael Zarafa. He's beaten Jeff Horn. He just beat Inoue. He has decent fights on his resume. But we haven't seen him against that elite guy. I just hope whoever wins the rematch does not duck Tim Tszyu. Fights Tim Tszyu. Because Tim Tszyu's promoter already offered both fighters $10 million to come to Australia. So it's a big money fight for whoever wins the fight. And I think Tim Tszyu is on the same level of Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo. People are going to come at me. People are going to say he's too premature. I just think seeing him fight, I think he can fight on that level. And I just hope we get to see that fight. We don't see the winner of Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo drop the WBO and just stay with the WBC, WBA, IBF. I know they might twist it and say Erickson Lubin is a tougher challenge for the winner because he's the WBC mandatory. But I'm telling you guys right now, Tim Tszyu would knock out Erickson Lubin. He's way better than Erickson Lubin. In my humble opinion, no disrespect to Erickson Lubin. He's a tough fighter. He's a good fighter. He's coming off a good win over Rosario. But I just think that Tim Tszyu is a better fighter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you guys have winning the rematch? I'm not going to give a detailed breakdown until we get closer to the fight. Like and subscribe, enjoy the video, and Sadiq Boxing out.